Ladies and gentlemen, when I ask you, where are you right at this moment, you will probably agree with this map behind me. You're in the Netherlands, you're in Limburg, maybe the southern part of it, let's say South Limburg. I think that's a terrible word, South Limburg. Really, it's a wrong word. It's historically wrong, it's geographically wrong, and we are not in the south, we are in the center. So that's why 10 years ago, as of today, exactly 10 years ago, we made this map. It's the Eurotropolitan map, and we, that is my partner in business and life, Nicole, and myself, we studied both architecture in Eindhoven, and we decided after a while to move our office to Maastricht, while our other friends moved their office to the Randstad. So we made this map to explain to them why, for God's sake, we are moving to Maastricht. And what we did is we took the London subway map and projected it scale 1:1 on this region. And we erased the station names of the London subway, and we put in the names of the places that are there. And then you see where in London you speak of one city. Here we talk about different towns, different villages, different dialects, different governments, different rules. And it's a very, maybe we can zoom in a bit, a very, polycentric region. It's actually, it's a metropolis, but they're not like London with 8 million inhabitants, but here we have 4 million inhabitants. So it's much greener. And where would you prefer to live? In a multicultural metropolitan area like London, or in one with half or with twice as much green and with all this cultural background and richness and layeredness? So that we made that map to explain it to them, and the surprise was that the people from here, they really liked the map. So they used it for 10 years now to show the possibilities, the potential of this region. And after these 10 years, like we all agree, nothing really happened. So, well, maybe some things happened because the province is more aware of the importance of good transportation means between the cities. And so also we discovered that these making maps is really has a lot of power. So it's fun to make maps, to make people think differently about where they are. So we are talking all the time about the Euroregion, and the Euroregion, if you compare it to Limburg, you see that the southern part of Limburg, South Limburg, is actually the center of it. And it's very nice. You see that there's a lot of potential there. On the second point is that the Euroregion, that is not the Euroregion, it's the Euroregion Meuse-Rhine, and in Limburg there are 3 other Euroregions as well. Most people don't know it, but you have the Euroregion Meuse-Rhine North, and you have the Euroregion Rhine-Waal, and also you have you used to have the Euroregion Benelux Centraal, which now changed into Interrecht, Grensgebied, Vlaanderen, Netherlands. But if you put these Euroregions above each other, if you project them, then you see that almost whole Limburg is covered with at least 2 Euroregions, except one little village, Meijel. It's only part of this grensregion, Vlaanderen and the Netherlands. So, and also you see by putting them on each other, like the Euroregion, it's like the point of view of Europe to look at the borders. If you put those maps across each other, you see that there are different areas in Limburg, and you can reduce them to 4. And these are regions that, like from the European point of view, make sense. And this is Maasduinen, and Maaspoort, which is around Venlo. And then you have Maasplassen, which is around Roermond. And then, of course, you have Maastricht. All these regions are situated on the Meuse, and that's why you could name them Maastricht, Maasplassen, etc. Now, I know a lot of you here in this room will not agree that you were at this moment in Maastricht. But if you're honest, from the European point of view, we probably are in the Maastricht region. And this is what I want to express with the map. So you could say Maastricht is the center of the region Maas-Rhine point. Well, this is not what is satisfying you, so I made another map. Therefore, I go back to Charlemagne, which around 800 beyond Christ, he was an emperor, and his empire was almost as big as Europe today. So it was Germany, the Netherlands, all those countries, Rome, they were all in his empire. And the center of that empire was here. This is where they actually spoke Frankish. And the map that you see, these are the different Frankish dialects that today are being spoken. So this was the center of Charlemagne, Charlemagne's empire. And if we zoom in, then, and zoom further, then you see here the border between two of those Frankish dialects, as we call them. One is Limburgish, and the other one is Ripuarian, which is Kölsch. And people from Limburg, they know, if you go to Cologne and you speak Limburgish there, they can just understand you and the other way back. So it's practically the same language, which is the Frankish language. But it has developed in different sub-languages, dialects, and here you see the border between Limburgish speaking and Kölsch speaking, and it's defined by the word maken or machen. So if you say in your language machen, then you're probably Kölsch speaking, and otherwise you're Limburgish speaking. So in Limburg, you say, "Wat machst du mich nu?" And in German, or in Cologne, you say, "Wat machst du nu?" Yeah, machen and maken. So then you know, in that village, somewhere there, they say maken, then they speak Kölsch. This is interesting because when you then look closer to the map, you see that not everywhere in Limburg they are speaking Limburgs. For example, in Venlo, because in Venlo dialect you say ik and not ich, and that's the border there. Also interesting, Kerkrade, it's very clear they don't speak Limburgish there, they speak Kölsch. If you think about it, it's true. Now, we also wanted to make a map of the empire of Limburg. So then we colored blue everywhere the people speak Limburg's dialect. And then you see, oh, in Düsseldorf, they speak Limburgish. So if you go there and speak your dialect, it's not a problem at all. And also, we, of course, took the Belgian Limburg with it. And then also the former Duchy of Limburg, which was north-south. We also put that on the Limburg Empire map. So you see, it's a very big empire. And yeah, it's probably more powerful than the Netherlands. Then another interesting aspect, if you took the map of the Duchy of Limburg, you see that it's actually more south than the Limburg we know today. The Limburg that we know today is only being named Limburg since 200 years. Before that, it was more south. And if you take the Limburg of today, the Belgian and the Dutch Limburg, then there's only one village which has been Limburgish before that, because in the Duchy of Limburg, and that's the village of Teuven. So if you asked somebody which is the oldest place of Limburg, of today's Limburg, you should not say Maastricht or Aachen, Maastricht or Heerlen. It's Teuven, because Maastricht might be older, but it's not that long Limburg. Then we made the same map for Cologne, the Greater Cologne. So this is the Cologne Empire. And you see also that there are areas like Düsseldorf or Sleenaken where they speak, which is heavily influenced by the Cologne language. So we took that to the Cologne side as well. And if you put those two maps onto each other, you see that there are two crossover areas where the Limburgian and the Kölsch really float into each other. And it's very hard to know where you are, in Germany or the Netherlands. And from that point of view, Maastricht is not the center of the region, but this Heerlen, Kerkrade, Aachen, Eupen area, because there, these two languages float into each other. And also you see the green line is there. There's the border between the Machen and Maken also. So I hope that with these maps, you got a different idea of Limburg and where you are and what your possibilities are. And I hope that one day my children are not going to New York, but they decide to live here in this very interesting metropolitan area. Thank you very much.